It's a whole new pod. Again?
Again. Another one.
Unfortunately, I'm stuck in an endless loop. DCOM after DCOM, under wraps after under wraps.
Zombies movies after zombies movies, and musicals after High School Musicals. And
nevertheless, like Desmond and Lost, I have my one constant, for better or for worse, during all this, and that is my co-host, Jacob Telejohn.
Jacob Robert Telejohn.
I will always find you and tell you, not Dustin's boat. I'm Lucas Melby. This is a whole new pod, the podcast all about
Disney Channel original movies.
I'm not used to you talking. Jacob's throwing me off. He's like, I can look at my phone and say half of Disney Channel original movies.
Yeah, it's I'm multitasking.
We're entering into, we almost had some of it timed well to either be a spooky movie at Halloween time or our classic of a Christmas movie at Halloween time, but just did the Under Wraps remake, and now we'll be covering Christmas ... again.
Oh, again.
With a question mark and an exclamation point at the end, very much like a talking cat.
Again.
But in classic AWN pod, that was the very weird way to say our name, AWNP, or a whole new pod, if you will, fashion, I read and looked back into some stuff about Under Wraps to bring not on that episode, but for this episode. So something I was coming across in some reviews is people were mentioning a character named Leonard who wasn't in the remake. And I'm like, who was Leonard? So I pulled up some clips on YouTube, and Leonard was an obnoxious, funny little neighborhood kid who kept having on our main trio, and it was like, Mr. Coolbot. He would
pick his nose and stuff.
Yeah, like a blanket, and yeah, he was a nasty kid.
I remember him.
And Mr. Coolbot in this situation, I don't think he did not live across the street from them. So then Leonard, who lived by him or lived by that house, was like, oh, this is what was happening. And within these clips, I was seeing, I will borrow a phrase from sometimes or often annoying corners of the internet of really starkly like soul versus soulless. So like the original, the main trio, they're like riding bikes around. Yeah. It's very like Amblin. You got Leonard there. I'm just like, I watched like 2 clips that were maybe 2 minutes total of 2 scenes with Leonard. I'm like, I don't even think Under Wraps, like, definitely a top 50 DCOM, but I don't even rank it like that high. And it's just like stark contrast to the remake to be like, nah, this movie had something. The remake does not have it. But something I came across in a review on Letterboxd that we definitely touched on, of talking about how Harold was sort of a paternal, or as Jacob explained, fatherly stand-in. More in the original, I found out that in the original, the person who plays the mom's boyfriend also played the mummy. So it was very like an intentional, literal thing that
that's kind of cool.
Imparting or seeing this mummy and being like, oh, I can accept my new dad to be or whatever. And it's literally the same guy. But in the sequel, they're like, well, we need him to dance. So then that's just thrown out the window. So that was just a little like kind of behind the scenes detail that we missed.
Cool deep. I like that. I mean, yeah.
5 years ago when we did the movie originally.
I like that.
So yeah, it made me even dislike Under Wraps. I think in the episode I did say this movie does not need to exist, but I don't think we went as hard on it. But just reminding myself of the original, it's like, oh, I can understand why Disney maybe doesn't have that on Disney Plus, because people be like, this new one, shit.
Yeah.
They're not as bold as like Netflix being like, oh, we have the Cowboy Bebop anime and our live action version.
The live action is good.
Nobody's with you on that one, Shake.
Just like the
One Piece fans, they like the live action, I guess, but I don't think there's too many people supporting the Cowboy Bebop. But we're not talking about either of those things. What we're supporting is
Christmas. Again.
And it's been quite a while. I should have looked up the dates again. I think the last Christmas movie was Good Luck Charlie. It's Christmas. I think that was 2011 or 2012. And this movie came out at the end of 2021.
That's the one where they do like the paintball thing or like the airsoft thing.
Something like that.
There's like a rich guy that is able to get him someplace.
What was I should remember because I repeated the name, the grandpa saying the name at the end of the episode. But whatever. I was right. Jacob and Dustin were wrong. That wasn't a very good movie. I guess this movie's probably better. I don't know.
Yeah,
I didn't need to watch a bunch of a TV show to know about this movie. I just needed to watch Groundhog's Day.
There was a TV show for this movie?
No, I'm saying Good Luck Charlie. It's Christmas.
Yes. For this one, yes, exactly. Groundhog's Day, which is what it is. It's not set on Groundhog's Day. It's set on Christmas Day.
Hold on.
I'm getting it. Oh, you went into it, so I just elaborated.
I was just doing a bit.
Oh,
being like, what? You're telling me this movie can be like Groundhog's Day and not exist?
Not on Groundhog's Day.
It's not. It doesn't happen on Happy Death Day either.
Yeah, that's another good one. There's that show Russian Doll, which is
it doesn't happen on Russian Doll Week or 3 days or however
Christmas
that works.
Day.
And
cue Happy Penguin 8 a.m.
Well, before we get that, we gotta learn our cast of characters
the night before too,
who were numerous. We just start off with some song that I don't remember the name of, but is sung by Juliette Roberts. Who knows if there's a relation or not? And we're getting kind of Polaroids, maybe scrapbooky pictures.
Yes. So the photos show Rowena, our main character, and then it shows her with her mother, I believe.
We get a bit of a passage of time, I think, through the pictures.
Yeah, well, it's her mother, and her sister, and then it shows that she has an uncle, and the uncle is married to some guy.
They're gay.
They're gay.
Gay uncles.
And they kiss on screen. And then it kind of
clap.
It's kind of like a rewind, and it kind of shows that they used to have a father that would live with them, but then it kind of shows his image separating from them. So it's the mom, the two girls, and now the dad is with a different woman, and they have a son together, or it was her son from a previous marriage or something. So the dad's separated, and it's the mom and two girls and gay uncles, and
so this is
grandma and grandpa too.
It's both slightly unnecessary because we'll quickly be reintroduced to all of these characters, but I don't know, maybe it's helpful to get the rundown. The key takeaways though are divorced mom and dad.
Yes.
New girlfriend for dad in the situation.
With an annoying little...
And gay uncles.
Yes. And grandparents. Cool old abuelas and...
Jacob didn't take Spanish.
No.
So Christmas Eve night, we see Rowena, who I would say is quite the precocious. I think she's 11 or 12 in this. And she is going over a list she's making of her favorite Christmas memories and talking to her mom about these things we used to do. Oh, I love Christmas.
Yeah, something to do with, going to the Field Museum. What do we say? Going to some
when
festival.
We wake up on Christmas morning, we hear a radio announcer saying Chicago.
Yeah.
So we see a museum later on that I guess is the Field Museum.
Yeah.
My question, though, is what 11-year-old in 2021's got an alarm clock radio? It's a cool-looking penguin.
It's a penguin. She's got a really big thing for penguins. She's got stuffed animals and posters of penguins and deers.
I've got an alarm clock radio, but I feel like I'm quite alone to be what, you don't just use your phone? I'm like, nope, I got an alarm clock radio.
I use my alarms on my phone. I have two different clocks like that. One has a vibrating thing you put under the pillow that shakes.
Unless you got something really crazy for that second alarm, this is extremely uninteresting.
No, I'm saying, the second alarm clock that I have is for deaf people. It has a vibrating thing you put underneath your pillow that just shakes everything. And sometimes it falls down below and in my bed cracks, so it's hitting wood and it's just slamming around.
Does it wake you up?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, sometimes I'm around you and I'm the only person that gets waken up by people's phone alarms.
Yeah.
You know who you are.
Oofta.
And Louis, the
annoying
soon-to-be stepbrother of Rowena, is a ghost.
Ooh.
He's got a sheet over his head.
She wakes up at 8 o'clock, turns off her penguin alarm. She sits up. We don't see anybody. And then boom, all of a sudden he's, pops up behind the bed. Boo, he's a ghost. So she steps on a skateboard. The skateboard hits a desk or something. It spills orange juice, we find out, on her sister's laptop.
What she had stolen or taken or
borrowed, yeah. And then Nutcracker that we hear about from the night before about her mother giving her for Christmas, and they saw the Nutcracker play. She really enjoyed it. Falls and breaks. So orange juice on the laptop, broken Nutcracker. She's not having a good morning yet.
And everybody's there already. This is 8 a.m. and I mean, I get up probably that early on Christmas now, but
yeah. Everybody's in her house. Louis runs downstairs, catches Dad, and Rowena's mad because it's usually a tradition that Dad wakes her up, on Christmas morning. And he's like, I just thought Louis really wanted to do it this year, so we let him do it. He's mad. She's progressively getting more angry.
Mom's already slaving away in the kitchen.
Making
Dad's
all the
girlfriends, Diane eats the last piece of chocolate from the Advent calendar.
Which is another tradition. Usually her and her sister, swap every year who gets to open up, the Christmas Day chocolate. And Diane, that biatch, takes the chocolate and she's pissed.
And
it was her turn.
Rowena is all about her traditions.
All about that base.
But I don't really remember.
Grandma and Grandpa are here too now.
Yeah, they show up, I think, at some point. But the key part of this sequence is that at some point, Louis just goes, "Look what I can do!" and starts dancing.
Like he's like tap dancing.
But then maybe starts like flossing a bit, and everybody's just like, "Oh my god, he's so talented!
Awesome.
He's only had one class. Oh, he's so good. He's so good." Grandma and Grandpa show up, and
something that, I'm trying to remember like some of the fun details that come into days ahead. So like this is the point where
Grandma farts in her face.
That happens, but Grandma.
I'm wondering about what fun details you're talking about. The only thing that really carries over is that she farts in her face.
So yes, Grandpa drops the keys. So Rowena bends down behind Grandma. We hear her tummy rumble, and then it just like a blast because they're saying we just ate at a greasy diner or something,
Which I'm like, how many places are open in fucking Christmas? We find out apparently a lot.
Poops in her face. Her older sister and Louis are laughing hysterically. They love it. Rowena's day is awful. It just gets worse
She
and
even
worse.
says like, eggs and sausage and like Disney Channel.
She can taste it. She can taste the shit.
The gay uncles show up. They got a new dog. For my notes, not that important. He pisses on a catcher's mitt at some point.
Yeah, pisses on her glove that she got from her dad at one point. Later on, they also use the dog as like a reason to get the gay uncles to leave the house to go search for it.
It's not that important.
No.
The day progresses. They're opening presents. There's a mix-up where we're pretty sure Rowena was supposed to get a new glove from her dad, but it's given to Louis, and she gets an Etch-a-Sketch.
So they make a comment that Louis switches the tags on the presents.
Oh, okay.
So, Louis was supposed to get some weird old Etch-a-Sketch, and Ro was supposed to get this new glove because hers is all beat to shit. So then now, Dad's like, tags must have got switched. And Louis wants to go play catch, so they go play catch, and she's more mad.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff bad stuff that happens here. And
I thought, there would be more about, so she gets, a scrapbook from her mom, which she doesn't really like. I thought there was going to be more, establishing of, this is what everybody got. Because I knew this was going to be a time loop movie already.
Yes. So, but Diane gets her some makeup kit or something. Gets her some stage makeup kit because
I missed that.
Because the father told Diane that Ro was in a play, but Ro's like, I was in the play when I was in third grade,
which honestly could have been 2 years ago.
So that's one of the presents. Yeah, she gets the Etch-a-Sketch thing. Her mom gets her the scrapbook thing, and then the abuela gives the mother some antique bowl. And when
Jacob, you're killing.
This is the stuff because it comes
the bowl does not come into play.
Well, later on it does because she saves it so it doesn't break. It breaks.
Jake, I'm not going to go by a play-by-play of everything she corrects in each timeline.
I love it. That's what I love about this.
I mean, some of this is that I paid attention to this movie a lot less than I have in quite a while because I had just gotten a new phone before Jacob came over, and
I'm dialed in on this.
But if Jacob's gonna be and this timeline, she catches this proposing couple from getting hit in the head by a snowball.
I would have said that.
Jacob.
I would have said that. Well, it's actually an ornament that falls that's going to fall on the woman's head as she's proposing to her man. I love these movies.
Well, moving on from presents, I found this weird. My family, we kind of vacillate between if we're doing a nice Christmas dinner or not. But in this situation, Mom has made a turkey or a chicken. There's mashed potatoes, but everybody's just sitting in the living room on
Lucas
couches or on the floor, and then they're like, Uncle Jerry. Seinfeld.
Jerry.
Get up and do your stand-up so that Rowena is like, oh, can I like be excused from dinner to
Like,
watch the Santa versus elves hockey game?
So she does like these fake laughs and stuff that kind of make Jerry feel rushed or just make him feel really bad.
Rowena is awful and
Yeah.
kind of only gets worse for most of the movie. And Jerry is not able to tell his joke because he's so hurt. He's new to stand up. He's taken a class, and Rowena has disrespected him.
Yeah, that's her mother's brother.
Yep.
Yes.
Very key, the familial relations.
Well, you're the one
in the podcast description. You can find an attachment of the pedigree that Jacob has made for this family.
You're the one that made a note that he was much darker skinned than the mother.
I can neither confirm nor deny.
That happened. You said that. I told you I am dialed into this podcast.
Well, then what happens next?
What happens next? I don't even know.
See, you're too caught up in loops. Everything runs together then. I've got the linear approach.
That's true.
So she does a bunch of shit beyond that to ruin Christmas, including like yelling at Diane at some point to be like, you're not even a part of our family.
Yeah.
The family's just basically like, fuck you, Rowena. And she runs out of the house and meets
Black Santa.
Tall Santa.
Tall Santa.
So yeah, she throws a rock at like their plastic Santa
and like
lawn ornament.
It's like it hits him. He's like, sorry, I'm having a bad day.
And yes, it is a black Santa, but I guess the joke is that
he's got a fake white beard.
Oh, it's like, you don't seem like Santa. He's like, yeah, I know, I'm tall or whatever.
Yeah. And he's like, I hit my head on those in the fans all the time. But yeah, I don't know. He kind of goes and explains. I don't know.
He's very what's the word? Charismatic.
Yes.
Where he's all like, I'm just like my mama used to say, that kind of stuff.
He's having fun, and at some point Rose says something like, I wish this Christmas never happened, or I wish this, Christmas was the way it used to be, kind of thing. And I
really didn't know what happened here, and then all of a sudden she's like, I want Christmas to be, I don't want my Christmas to be ruined, and then
there's like a bunch of wind and stuff is all shaking around. He's yelling, "What did you say?" And she's, "I wish Christmas was the same as it used to be," kind of, whatever.
And then we get a jingle bells, jingle. That is the
alarm clock,
similar to Groundhog's Day, the key in that we get each time. So when I originally saw that this movie is called Christmas Again, I was like, oh, is it going to be like the classic Christmas special, Elmo Saves Christmas, where Elmo wishes on a magic snow globe he gets from Santa that every day is Christmas, and that everybody loses their mind because they're so tired of celebrating Christmas. But no, that's not the case. It's just a time loop. Where's the fun in that?
Yeah, the same stuff happens. Louie does the ghost thing. She steps on the skateboard. Oranges is spilled. Nutcracker breaks. She does everything, but she's like, this time she's like, are you guys kidding with me? Fucking with me?
it's pretty typical for a time loop movie of the person be like, oh, deja vu, or like you goofing on me?
Like, I learned my lesson. Okay, I get it. You can make it stop.
But somehow she still winds up getting farted in the face by grandma. You would think maybe you could be more on your toes to dodge that.
But everything just is shit.
And I think maybe she like just rushes to bed, or like quickly like resets. I think she wakes up and is already kind of put together.
I think she scares Louie this time.
Yeah, she basically learns that it's a time loop and immediately goes into goblin mode to be like, I can do whatever I want.
But this time around, she doesn't doesn't spill the orange juice, and she doesn't break the nutcracker. And she later comments in on like stuff that I do in this timeline doesn't affect.
Yeah, that's how she figures out it's a time loop.
Yeah. She's like, doesn't affect other stuff. So yeah, she's scaring Louie. She's not breaking stuff. With Grandma's fart, though, this time, she kicks the keys over to her sister, so her sister has to pick it up, and then she spins Grandma around to fart in the sister's face and Louie's face, and she really likes that.
Wonderful movie.
Love that.
So I think that's about we get 3 quick farts, and I think that kind of covers it for the rest of the movie.
Well, then the piss joke,
Well, we talked over the dog pissing.
Yeah.
So her first really fuck around thing is she uses her mom's phone to order
a limo,
a Hummer limo, to go sledding, and this happens to be driven by Tall Santa.
Tall Santa again. He's everywhere in this movie. There's another part where he's working at like a Starbucks.
Yeah, he's, a manic pixie Santa Claus.
Dream girl. Yeah.
And Jacob compared a lot of her sledding excursion to
Clark Griswold.
Yeah, Christmas Vacation. Not quite to the point of like leaving a trail of flames behind.
No, but she comes shooting through some fort or something that people had made, and she's going really, really, really fast.
And some of this is maybe just informed by my own family's Christmas traditions, but it's like, who's out sledding at like 9 o'clock on Christmas Day?
That's a good point.
Building a nice snow castle.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Big hole in it, though.
And she starts just doing, kind of touched on some of the stuff, but stuff that she's already learned through. So, like, getting grandma to fart in her sister's face. And using other stuff. And then she, like, asks everybody a bunch of personal questions. And then we see, like, a loop back again. Where
so she pretends like she can talk to the dad or, something like that. Yeah. So like with Uncle Jerry, she makes a comment about his underwear, knows what underwear. She knows exactly how much money's in
what you do with your uncle.
Robin's egg blue. And she knows how much money's in her dad's wallet, $61.10. She knows about Diane's.
Jacob in fucking full Rain Man.
I told you, this movie's in my head. And with Diane, she remembered her dog and said that the dog is sitting next to her, because she killed the dog with a bag of chips. She said the dog's eating chips and it's not.
I don't know if it's unclear what happened to Biscuit. I don't think the movie is going to say that Diane
killed chips. Yeah, she fed her the chips and the dog died or something.
She said there was a bag of chips.
Yeah,
but then the dog got out or something. I don't think there's anything like that's a little too dark for Disney Channel.
That's fair.
They'll they'll have freaking geriatric farts in your face 3 times, but not killing. But I could be wrong.
But there's the thing, too, with Abuela talking about her former lover horse.
Yeah. We don't need the details of every single person's history.
I love every detail. This is my favorite
because we got to talk about the Santas versus Elves hockey game,
of course.
Which seemed like it was going to be a lot bigger deal than it was.
It's very minimal.
Because it's more about the fact that there's a side
candy cane
thing on it.
There's a candy cane guessing, how many candy canes are in this giant ornament ball thing. She sees people guess, and then she asks, what number is it? She guessed the right number, wins $1,000, can do whatever the fuck she wants with the money.
But so some of it's a little weird because it's like the hockey game happens later in maybe early evening.
And that's something you've touched on while we were watching. It's like, couldn't do all of this.
The idea is she gets this money, and she can do whatever she wants, but every single day she can only get the money. Maybe it's because I played too many video games that have a time loop mechanic to be like, no, you can only get the money at this point, and you got to cram everything in after
what I'm thinking is maybe just in the end, she just doesn't get the money at all.
Well, that's the other thing is we already see her steal her mom's phone to order a car.
Yeah.
Which
she doesn't do.
Her mom's got Apple Pay or whatever. She can just walk around and steal her mom's money.
And I don't know. I do want to touch on the other kind of stuff that happens at the hockey game. I don't need to go back to it, but she ends up playing. She ends up playing hockey.
And maybe dies.
She's one of the Santas. Yeah, she gets checked really hard, and then she immediately wakes up. So, maybe she actually died. But I guess in the end, she ends up scoring, the game-winning goal in one of the matches. So she's, the big hero, the big Santa hero.
And once we establish that she's got this source of money, then it's more of a music montage of her hitting up a bunch of places that
were on her list.
Had Christmas memories for. But I'm like, so she goes to a museum where she's like, I can go there now because I have $1,000. It's like, well, A, I don't think the museum would be open on Christmas.
Yeah, there's nobody
B,
there.
Is it then implying that she pays to be there? Right? And then she's going to SeaWorld or whatever the Shed Aquarium or whatever.
Went to an aquarium.
Chicago. And it's just none of these I know that there's obviously there are people who don't celebrate Christmas.
Yeah.
But it's kind of just an established thing for
Not
most businesses that I guess maybe aren't movie theaters
there
or
was
Chinese restaurants.
One cool thing that I would maybe do that she did in here. There's this building, I don't remember the name of it, but you stand up next to a window.
It probably was whatever the Sears Tower formerly or now is known as.
Yeah. But it
formerly the Sears Tower.
It tilts out, the whole window tilts out I don't know, 45 degrees, and you're laying just stretched out over. I mean,
no, thank you.
Yeah, it looked pretty spooky, but I don't know. I think it'd be kind of something to try.
And then I think she runs into Black Santa at
maybe
the concession stand for the hockey game or at some kind of concession stand. And
she's like, weren't you just driving my limo? He's like, I'm a Santa of many hats.
Yeah, he's I'm trying to think of some other movie. I can never think of these things on the spot, and then immediately I remember them later on. Does George Bailey's angel friend show up and no, I don't think that's right. whenever a bell rings, an angel gets
its wings.
Chicken wings. That's the iCarly Christmas special.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Basically, she just spells out her like character motivation here. She's like, I don't like change. I love my Christmas traditions. I don't want my family to change.
It's like, that's not really the whole reason
the
behind all this. That's not the meaning of Christmas.
And then Black Santa's like, yeah, you got to just accept change. You know, nothing stays the same forever, but you can create new traditions with your family and not just remember things from the past. And Rose like, I know what I'll do. I'll get my mom and dad back together.
So that's a whole deal. She has to try to figure out. She interviews them kind of, and
this is kind of like the meat of the movie.
Yes. What was your favorite Christmas? What do you remember about it? Oh, we had hot cocoa. Nobody else showed up because there was bad weather. We had ugly sweaters, candles.
So yeah, she concocts this scheme I'm distracting my gay uncles by telling them their dog ran away.
If she does your voice, she calls him and says the dog is gay. And he does a weird deal.
We don't need to explain that. We'll just leave that as Jacob talking incomprehensibly for 5 seconds.
That's what it was in the movie.
Diane gets taken out of commission because she's allergic to cat hair, and she gets a neighborhood cat to rub up on her coat, and then she's got to take Benadryl or something.
This is the cat that was missing. We see posters getting put up.
I didn't.
There was posters getting put up of a missing cat, so she finds the cat, and the cat is hiding because it just gave birth to kittens.
I got to figure out my widgets on my home screen.
There's a lot of fun stuff, a lot of details in this movie.
So that's, the house is mostly empty. She sets up Louis with like scary movies, which is mostly just, what scary movie can we not pay licensing rights for? Nosferatu's in the public domain, so he's watching it in the bathtub with headphones on.
Headphones.
And then, she cuts the power to show like it's like, the old Christmas, and she has some kind of jerry-rigged mistletoe to roll up to the parents after she's given them hot cocoa.
And the sister's like, this isn't going to work. And then she's like, just watch this.
Story of my life, just a kiss on the cheek between the two of them.
Yeah, and she's pissed, because she wanted
I need some tongue action.
She wanted the tonguey.
Get me in the Christmas spirit. So she tries again with some slight adjustments, a lot of different ways. She's like, I'll make up mom, but then, mom looks like a whore. So I've got to watch days worth of makeup tutorials on YouTube and loop around and try it out. And then ultimately her mom mostly looks like she just is wearing lipstick.
Same. She just pours a bunch of perfume on her.
She finds them matching ugly sweaters.
They're the original sweaters from the first Christmas. That's what they say.
Doubt.
So I'm surprised I didn't know you still had these. That's a remark they made.
Well, maybe she found a replacement.
Possible.
I mean, if the dad left it at his house, she can't.
True.
I guess we don't know where the dad lives. But also, like,
maybe she's learned to drive in this whole time. Who knows? That's a question that I raised.
She also can't, like, order stuff. Like, because Amazon ain't going to same day deliver on Christmas.
Like, she had to have been trapped in this loop for, like, at least years. She learns to do the Mona Lisa on the Etch-a-Sketch. She knows everybody in town's name, basically.
Yeah, there's no darkness to it like Groundhog's Day. That's why I was also questioning, like, I don't think the Biscuit the dog died.
Well, I mean, she dies. She gets checked and wakes up.
She just gets knocked out.
Oh, she wakes up.
Yeah, there's none of that real darkness.
No, she's not jumping off a building.
To get out. She doesn't ever really have a strong motivation.
She's not kidnapping Santa and driving off a cliff
to end the loop. Really,
no. Through death. That's all Bill Murray does. It just kills himself over and over.
Maybe to Jacob's chagrin, fast forwarding through
all the fun stuff.
Ultimately, her different adjustments that she makes to the scheme to get her parents back together again are for naught, because she learns that her dad has already proposed to Diane, and they just didn't tell her, probably because she's a fucking freaks
out
and would be a bitch about it.
She fucking
and maybe torture people in a time loop on Christmas.
Yeah, she's really upset, and that just kind of. Did she do more evil stuff then now?
So this is retaliation? As dark of a chapter as she gets, which is mostly her destroying her penguin alarm clock in different ways.
Yes. Puts it inside a cereal bowl, smashes it about 10 times with a bat, does some kind of experiment concoction with it, a bunch of stuff.
There's some
she has messy hair.
Plot holes because she
eats ice cream.
She wakes up and why is your hair all fucked up? Well, I haven't brushed it. Well, it wasn't fucked up in any of the other timelines, and you always wake up immediately to Louis scaring you. So, and there was one time where she somehow like scared Louis with a fake ghost or something. I'm like, bitch, that's not how this works.
No,
you wake up at 8:00. That's all you get.
Who knows?
And then
maybe she just hits the alarm and she sleeps in another, little
she
bit.
really hits rock bottom when she goes down on Christmas morning and pulls out the gallon bucket of ice cream and is chowing down with sunglasses on and messed up hair. And she's like, I hate Christmas.
There's a part where she whispers in Diane's ear when Diane's eating her chocolate, something about like I'm going to end you, or
like, your mother sucks cock in hell.
Your mother sucks cocks in hell. Yeah,
she's talking shit about presents. Be like, I don't even remember what you got me last year.
Do you know what you got me?
But maybe it was shit too. Christmas trees. You killed a tree. That sucks.
It makes it sad. Yeah,
and everybody's like, oh,
you're kind of right.
And I don't know if it's this.
Louis very sad.
I don't know if it's this loop or in the next one, but her sister like notices. It's like, hey, you're kind of moody right now. And she's like, yeah, well, I'm mad about Dad marrying Diane, and I just wish Mom and Dad could be back together. And I don't even think we've actually mentioned that she has a sister.
No, probably not.
At this point.
That's an older sister.
So that's why some of this feels very unearned, because her sister's kind of like getting emotional and tearing up.
There's kind of a lot of characters, but a lot that aren't really too involved.
Were too young to remember like Mom and Dad fighting all the time.
Yeah,
it's better this way.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you've hardly been a character in this movie. I think we mentioned her sister having a laptop. That's really all we've said
She's
about.
probably like late high school. Like there's definitely like an age gap between the two.
Do you want to say what your observation about the sister?
Oh, that her face kind of resembles Ryan Gosling.
Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds.
Jacob can remember the fucking loops to a T. Can't even remember his own description.
Lucas kind of agreed. You kind of see it.
Oh, now it's on me. All right. That kind of clears stuff up, and her sister's like, well, okay, I'll stop trying to get Mom and Dad back together again. Maybe I'll start being nice, like getting a mariachi band for the family. And the family loses their GD mind about this. So
I'm like
rocking the mic and everything.
I'm dancing.
Make sure we ain't disconnecting any wires. And that's why I was like, oh, is she trying to do, again, my video game mindset, is she trying to do the perfect loop here?
Yeah.
But then they're like, oh, it starts back again. And this is where I start to have some questions for this movie. Is because she starts going through all the different places she's been in various loops where she's noticed stuff that is fucked up for people.
She does good stuff.
People dropping their groceries, whatnot.
Yeah, helps. And the kids getting their money stolen from Gretchen.
Yeah, again, not paying super close attention. I'm just like, oh, who is Gretchen? She's got a karate fight Gretchen now?
Yes. So gay uncles gave her the judo stuff for Christmas. That was her present from them. So she wanted to learn, judo, karate, whatever.
Practiced on Louis.
Yes. She like flipped him like 10 times. So then she goes and flips Gretchen. So Gretchen was like her bully or whatever. And she's stealing this money from these two neighbor kids that are new who were selling jokes to help raise money for some fun for their dead
Which
mom.
I got to say, obviously a lot of time bullies got trouble at home.
Yeah.
I can't imagine a bully, no matter how bad their home life is, they're probably still going to be at home on Christmas. Why are they out marauding the streets bullying kids?
What's the joke that the kids say? What did one plate say to another?
Dinner's on me.
Yeah, that's good.
But the main important thing is she is doing these, but it's not all in a single loop.
Yeah,
because we see, it's night now, but now it's day again. And like that one, she's like, oh, I got to reset to practice karate for a couple loops.
And then at one point, Gretchen becomes her friend. We see her at the party at the end of the movie. So I don't know.
We also get to see the conclusion of Uncle Jerry's joke, which is like, I'm a lawyer and I can't always stop being a lawyer at home. So I sometimes say to my husband, take out the trash. And he's like, I took it out last week. And I'll say, objection. Take it out. And everybody's like, oh my God, Jerry.
But then
you fucking cutting it up. You're killing it.
Jerry pays money to the orphan children for jokes too later on.
Their jokes are probably better than that. Like that was like nothing.
It was bad.
It was such a nothing joke.
It was bad. And we do see her now going to this winter festival, and she knows everybody. She literally knows everybody in town, like Bill Murray does in Groundhog Day.
She knows everybody in the city of Chicago.
It's true.
Well, she's maybe in a suburb like Evanston or, where the John Hughes movies always are.
So she finds the kitten, gives the kittens. She gave some people some ingredients to bake some bread cake or something, right? Or bread pudding or whatever it was.
Or I think it's because she stopped them from dropping the eggs.
Oh, the eggs. Okay,
so that was to make the banana bread, which I guess I don't know. Does banana bread have eggs? I'm not a baker. I'm not a rapper
Not
either.
a rapper.
And then the cupcake is the cat.
Yes.
Her owners then bring bread pudding because they know it's Rowena's favorite. I'm like, if Rowena likes bread pudding, that says a lot about her.
So there's probably like 3 or 4 other couples that show up. The couple that she saves their proposal shows up. And then most importantly, that shows up are the 2 kids with the dead mom with their father. And the father and Rowena's mother kind of got a little connection there.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Love
at first sight.
You set up that like there's throngs
There's
of people
a lot of people
coming to this house.
Lots of people.
Often bringing food, so that's how they're able to accommodate them.
Everyone.
But this is where I'm like, we saw her help this proposal couple like 4 loops ago.
Yeah.
So this is implying that there's some convergence of timelines where her
Or she's just doing it all.
No.
She's just doing it all.
She can't. And she buys like a tablet for her sister too.
Because of the money, from the money that she won from the guest.
Sure. Would you go in a back alley with $1,000?
I don't know.
So that I kind of...
It doesn't... Okay,
I'm typing up on IMDb trivia goofs.
This is
right
not
now.
possible. She didn't have this much time. But yes, everything's good. It's a great Christmas.
She, at some point, even though there's like everybody around her, like, people milling about, it's like Darren Aronofsky's mother, people just coming nonstop into the house. But she's talking to her core family, be like, I love you guys. Welcome to the family, Diane and Louie. We're going to make so many great Christmas traditions going forward.
She finally finished reading the Christmas Carol.
Not yet.
No, not yet.
Well, at this point,
Kinda,
yeah.
sorta.
Because she's lived like a year or whatever.
Yes.
But then they sing everybody together Silver Bells, including the single dad who's already like sidling up next to mom.
Oh, yeah. He's making his move.
The gay uncle's kiss.
They kiss on the lips.
They don't even make a big deal about it.
No.
There's not like a BuzzFeed headline that pops up mid-movie, but like, did you know Disney, the first gay kiss? The 18th first gay kiss in a Disney movie? And that night, right before she goes to bed, her mom comes in and goes, "Ooh, me likey our Christmas Carol." And I think they read it together then. And she wakes up the next morning and she's like...
The same song, it's the same time.
But they're like, let's get this shit out of here. And Louie's still in her room, but he's not a ghost. And she goes...
He's not a ghost?
Boy, you right there. What
day is it?
It's
the day after Christmas.
Man? I don't know. What do you call it? Boxing Day, maybe? I don't know. And then they're running around the house looking for their parents who, for Louie, are packed up and about to leave outside.
At 8 a.m. They're
doing a Home Alone thing to him or something. Yeah, it's still, nice. Okay, bye. Love you, Diane and Louie.
Hummer limo.
Yeah, they go away. The Hummer limo's there. Santa's in there.
It's all black Santa.
Would maybe he had said some stuff about Rowena being on the naughty
Naughty
list?
or not so good.
If he hadn't, it was pretty well implied that she'd be on the naughty list.
We see her name on this list, and she's like, did I do enough to be better? And he's like, oh, we'll have to see. And then she has to go inside, and we see her name disappear from the naughty list.
Which is, I mean, yeah, maybe we could have not had the naughty list. I'm trying to like thread the needle of being like, obviously they make him very explicitly Santa Claus, but is there a way to not do that? Or is there a way to not do that until the Hummer limo turns into Santa's sleigh and then flies up into the sky?
And no, that was pretty cool. Some
so
Back
that
to the Future
could have
kind
been
of vibes.
Fun, maybe. But he's Santa. She's off the naughty list. Can she keep that up for a whole year? I don't know.
Doubt it.
And yeah, that's the end of the movie. They have some nice red calligraphy pop up to
rear
say
end.
the end. Being like, you gonna watch this every year with your family?
You should.
I won't.
Again, I like.
I'd watch it before Jingle All the Way. That's a rough movie.
What's the superhero character in that he plays?
Turbo Man.
Turbo Man. That was filmed in Minnesota.
Some of it.
Yeah.
The parade part, not filmed in Minnesota. Very clearly not real snow in most of that part.
I enjoyed the movie. Not enough to make it like a top 15 or 20 or 10.
No, 'Twas the Night or The Ultimate Christmas Present.
No, but I think it was a fun Christmas movie.
Because you know what those movies didn't have?
Bryan Cranston. Or they did have Bryan Cranston.
Oh, I forgot to bring up my great joke of being like...
Farts.
She solves grandma's fart by giving her some like herbal tea that apparently works immediately. But I made a very gross joke.
Oh, no.
She
Oh,
just
no.
has to like suck up all. It's just grandma's farts.
She sucks
to save
a fart
everybody
out of
else.
grandma's asshole.
Because, that's the very selfless.
Jesus. Jesus Christ.
Very interested to see how that's going to sound. But yeah, 'twas the night it had Bryan Cranston and did not have 3 grandma fart jokes in it. So, they're not all made equal. But it was nice to have another Christmas movie.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Lucas, I think, can attest that I thoroughly enjoyed this film.
I mean, you remembered plenty of details about it.
Yeah.
This might be a shorter episode, too, so maybe I should have let you go off, King.
Let me go off. And to my credit, there's not even like a synopsis on Wikipedia page about what happens in this movie.
This is just like, it's Groundhog Day, but it's Christmas, and the girl's really annoying.
Basically.
Not a new Christmas classic, but not exactly a Christmas clunker either.
No, I
mean, it kind of is.
Anytime it has like the kind of Groundhog's Day kind of theme to it, I don't know what else like what are those movies kind of called?
Time loops,
I guess. I don't know. Yeah, like Russian Doll and like you said, Happy Death Day. I like those kind of movies or shows. I can get down with them.
There's been a lot of them.
I love them, each one.
Now we're on to multiverses.
This is the first Christmas one to my knowledge, so.
Well, there's some light elements. I mean, like Christmas Carol, Scrooge is going back in time.
Back in time. Not the same day.
Whatever, man. You can find us. Write to us, awholenewpod@gmail.com. Let us know if you made it past me huffing grandma farts quite audibly.
Can you do that noise again?
No. It's hurting my throat. Would you like to play? John Kramer?
Oh.
The Jigsaw Killers in my Christmas movie? That's what they need. Christmas Xmas. Christmas Xmas. Saw Xmas. That's what I meant to say.
Xmas. That's good.
But that email address again is awholenewpod@gmail.com. Never remember. Should the sequel to Christmas Again be called 9/11 again?
Oh my God. Oh shit, she could have stopped 9/11.
I'm not surprised that movie hasn't happened yet because too soon, #too soon.
Rowena could have stopped 9/11.
For somebody to just be like, I must stop 9/11. And they just relive it over and over and over again.
That's a good movie, Hollywood. Yeah,
theoretically.
This is like the one character that could.
Well, not the one character.
No.
I mean, we've had actual superheroes and stuff, magic people. But
this is the one clear for the longest time that I can remember.
Right place and time, or even, she's just at home and she calls in a tip. And the Bush White House says, oh, we know. What? I mean, sorry.
Yikes.
Insert the meme of guy whispering to George W. Bush, it's Christmas again. Oh, no.
Yeah, so I absolutely never remember. She could have stopped 9/11.
All right. So we didn't have it last week. We talked about Mountain Dew Voodoo. I have not yet been able to find a bottle of that. They had some 12 packs of it at the store, and I'm like, nah, we ain't doing that. But I almost missed this because I had heard about this online, but then I actually found it. So this is another Coca-Cola creation studio, whatever you want to call it. It is Coca-Cola Y3000. Presumably means the year 3000 because
Here's
it is
to the year 3000.
It is futuristic flavored and it is co-created with artificial intelligence. So
what?
AI has made this soda, and I assume
I don't know what that means.
Coca-Cola scientists have checked to be like, this won't kill you.
Is that real?
That's what it says. That's what it said on Ask Jeeves.
Weird.
So I will. Got quite humid today, so this
I don't know
bottle
what
is
that
quite
means.
condensated.
I wonder if that means it's just like this is a flavor they think people are really going to like because AI has gathered all this information about our taste preferences.
I mean, they had my taste preferences. It would just be Coca-Cola. Why do you go that way? Jacob stressing me out, purposely walking over the cord instead of just...
Should we sniff it?
I mean, we usually do.
Do you get a little... What is that?
Something.
It's not normal Coke.
No, it's not.
Whoa. That's smooth.
Yeah. Doesn't feel as carbonated as normal Coke.
No, it doesn't. It feels kind of flat.
Kind of like maybe like an iced tea.
That's weird. What is it called again? I'll try to Google the flavor. I don't know what it would taste like.
Y3000.
Y3000 Coke flavor.
Not a real fan of that one either. Bring me back the Dream Coke.
It smells like circus peanut candies and tastes mostly like Coke. That's what they say. Somebody says.
A fucking AI.
Weird.
Well, circus peanuts taste like bubblegum, don't they? And isn't that what the last one was supposed to taste like, was bubblegum? Well, it won't be like the last time where Jacob said it tasted like bubblegum, and then like the next time I drank it, I'm like,
he tasted it.
It tastes like bubblegum.
Yeah.
Oh, it tastes like Coke. Shit, now it tastes like Coke. Get out of here.
It was made to evoke a positive future label that has a futuristic feel. Due to its color palette of silver, violet, magenta, and cyan, the Coca-Cola logo on the Y23 bottle is made of fluid dot clusters that merge to represent the human connections of our future planet.
Okay, Coca-Cola.
You can scan
You make a great product, but you're up your own ass.
Customers can scan a QR code on the bottle to open a website that uses the AI model Stable Diffusion to turn photos of their surroundings into images with a similar color scheme.
Okay. Nobody gives a shit about Jacob reading the fucking Coke press release.
Coke.
This is great content. I'm going to buy a Coca-Cola bottle that says Lucas on it. I'm just going to share with Lucas.
Remember that? That was a big deal.
To fucking saps like you.
People love that.
Capitalistic idiots.
People loved it.
Well, you know what people love? Guaranteed. They love the podcast program, A Whole New Pod, because they find it at Apple Podcasts, Google, Spotify, at youtube.com/A Whole New Pod.
AWN Pod on X.
Jacob.
Sorry.
Just chill out.
I'm like...
Whenever I get to this point when I'm editing the podcast, I just want to be like, Jacob, just chill out.
Okay,
stop it.
Sorry.
Get some help.
Oh, that's a good video.
I do this every episode. I got to say the things. Let me get them out. If I asked you to do them all, you probably wouldn't remember all of them.
I know I wouldn't.
I don't even remember the Twitter account all the time. But I wanted to say that if you found the video on YouTube, if you listen to the podcast on there, it's not a huge innovation, but you might notice that I've done a little updates to what the video looks like to make it seem like more of a
effort,
somewhat partially professional podcast. So check out those YouTube videos and be like, wow, this is what he was talking about. Okay. But I'm not going to do that for the previous 110 episodes, but for the next 5 we do before the end of this whole podcast enterprise, they'll look like that. That is youtube.com/A Whole New Pod. Like, comment, and subscribe there. And yes, Twitter, it's still with direct there, but x.com/AWN Pod, run by Dustin. And Dustin again?
Again. Another one.
Yeah, I think kind of feel bad in a way that this episode won't be as short as the Under Wraps episode, but this episode will probably end up being fairly short. And partially, I should have let Jacob just go ham.
Cook. Remember all of his little autistic details.
Partially, it was because I was looking at my new phone, trying to figure out why my lock screen was being weird and how I could adjust the haptics or whatever. Very exciting high-tech stuff. And I'm like, Jacob, text me to see if I can... Why was my preview message not working? Great content for a podcast episode, too. So, I know you want more of us in your ear holes. I understand that.
Amy Klobuchar follows me on Twitter.
But for now, you can just listen to the ambient noise of Jacob nose breathing, maybe. Yeah. And you know what?
Hey! You told everyone in the restaurant that Yoshi was a chicken.
I'm Chicken Teriyaki Boy. That's my nickname because I always order chicken teriyaki. So whenever I go in, they go, "Oh, chicken teriyaki boy."
And they call you that.
Yes, that's my name. Hey, what's my name in this place? What do they call me?
Chicken teriyaki boy.
I'm chicken teriyaki boy.
Nobody has that kind of nickname.